Hello everybody, I'm OCDsaster, and this is OCDsaster Blue, my Sonic exclusive channel, where everything we do here is Sonic related, so if that sounds like something your speed, consider subscribing and checking out some other videos after this one. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my top 5 least favorite tracks in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and my top 5 best racing tracks in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, with a bonus if you wait towards the end. So, with that being said, let's get into the video. Now, I was going to do every single track ranked, and it became a behemoth of a project. I got all the course footage and everything set up, and as I started to record for the video, I realized I was repeating a lot of the same things for the lesser liked courses, and on top of that, I could only speak for like 30 seconds to a minute per track to keep the video short and concise. So I've decided to go back on the drawing board and do a video this way, in which I have a little bit more time to talk about my bottom 5 and my top 5 tracks in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Now, I want to caveat a few things. First, just because it's in my top 5 least favorite tracks doesn't mean that these tracks are bad. In fact, I think all of these tracks in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds are good. They're just my least favorite out of the others. I think there's just so many good tracks over top of these ones on the bottom half. Also, this is my opinion. It's going to be different than yours, and that's okay. If you have been following the channel or have been a subscriber for a while, you know I'm all about having conversations, having different opinions when it comes to Sonic. That's what makes this franchise so great, and we don't need to be at each other's throats just because we disagree. We can have civil conversations and such. So if you disagree with me, I'd love to hear why down below, but make sure it's not like a personal attack, and keep it civil amongst yourselves as well. As many of you know, I'm a Sonic fan, but a lot of you are way more hardcore Sonic fans than I am, and I just simply don't have enough time in my day to do the extensive research that some of you do. So, if there's some Easter eggs or references to specific Sonic games that I don't pick up or share for these tracks, be sure to share those down below. I would love to see them. There's no competition between who's a bigger Sonic fan than the other person, and I would really like for this community to kind of just share that knowledge without having any sort of elitist energy. So I really do appreciate those people that share items and, facts that I missed in videos. Lastly, I want to say, this recording is before any of the DLC courses have been released, so this might change later down the line. In fact, I might wait till all the tracks are completed and released to do that Mega Ultra ranking video. We'll have to see. For my bottom 5 tracks, I'm going from the 5th least favorite down to the worst, starting with Colorful Mall. Colorful Mall takes place, well, in a mall, and is themed around Sonic Colors Wisps. You have these giant structures. I don't know if they're inflatables or if they're, just giant, sculptures hanging in the mall, but they're of the different wisps from Sonic Colors, where they originated from. And as a theming goes, it's nice. They definitely commit to looking like a mall. For those that don't know, for the really younger people of this channel, a mall used to be a hangout spot for older people like myself, where you could go and shop in person and not everything was online. It was a cool place to be, and now most malls are kind of desolate and are dying out due to just the way the world is running now. So I'm sure a few of you know what a mall is. But yeah, Colorful Mall is a fictional mall. It doesn't actually exist, obviously. It's very nice. I have it as my 5th least favorite, more so because of a skill issue. I'm not very great at this track, but I want to talk about the unique track design for it, because there's multiple levels to the Colorful Mall. You can choose to go the top path, the middle path, or the bottom path. And this happens, I believe, in 3 different segments of the track. And I find this to be very cool, very fascinating, but it does provide a few little problems here and there. These 3 tiers or 3 levels of the course are almost meta in a way, because yes, malls have multiple layers to them most of the time, but also a lot of the side-scrolling Sonic games, you have an upper path, middle path, and lower path, each varying in difficulty and giving you more rewards the more challenging path you take. Sometimes the lower path is the most dangerous, sometimes it's the secret easiest path. They really switch it up depending on what Sonic game and Sonic level you're playing, but I find this very interesting for this racing game. What makes it difficult is when you're racing against other people and there's power-ups being launched everywhere, and you can fall off of a floor to a bottom floor, it gets really hectic. Not to mention that the course is very tight. There's a lot of walls and not a lot of space to really move around in. Now, there are certain shortcuts where you can cut through cafes and boost off of top, levels of the mall, but it is kind of scattered. You'll be in first place, and then someone below you will just speed up in front of you, and then you won't even see them until you drop down, but then someone's launched an item at that person, but since you drop down, you get hit. It becomes a very messy track, and that's why I have it in 5th for my bottom 5 tracks in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. My 4th least favorite track is Wonder Museum. Now, when I first heard about this being a track in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, I was really excited to see what it had in store, and unfortunately, it just doesn't live up to the hype that I had for it. It is a fun track with a bunch of cool museum exhibits that take place throughout. And when you get to the 3rd lap, with the hazards turned on, you have dinosaur skeletons attacking you, you have old chariot carts moving around, and even planes spinning around, making it more difficult to get items, which is very fun and very cool. But I thought Wonder Museum had some missed potential as far as a course layout. There's not a lot here. It just kind of goes around in a pretty, mediocre loop. And on top of that, I thought there was going to be more Sega representations, Sega references. I could be wrong. There could be a lot more there that I'm seeing, but as you're racing through, you don't really get to, sightsee as much. And that is why Wonder Museum is my 4th least liked course in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. My 3rd least liked track in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is an interesting one, and that's Urban Canyon. Urban Canyon just kind of sticks out like a sore thumb to me when it comes to this game and to the Sonic theming of it all. I'm not quite sure this is a level in a Sonic game or not, but it's basically you're driving through a canyon that's sort of like the Grand Canyon in the United States, but now there's this utopian future city built inside of it and alongside of it, and you're driving through this course with turns and then flying, and you get to see the scenery, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's kind of just a course in my mind, and that's why it's number 4 here, because although it's interesting as a concept, having this utopian city taking place inside of a canyon or around a Grand Canyon, there's nothing else here to really go off of. My 2nd least liked track in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is Water Palace. Look, we have played this course in exhaustion for the open beta and the demo, and it still shows up quite frequently when I go onto online races, and it's a fine track, but I've played it so many times, and the only real cool part from it that I personally like is when you're driving in the tube section and you see all the undersea life and water around you as you drive through. But we've seen this in so many mascot kart racers as till now, so it's not really anything new. Yeah, you get a decent sized boat section and you have a beautiful looking water palace, but we have another palace looking course in this game that just, it's way better, and that's a spoiler for later. But yeah, the water palace just doesn't 100% do it for me, so that's why it is my 2nd least favorite in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Before I get to my least favorite track in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, I wanted to just mention to you guys that I have both a walkthrough and playthrough series of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds here on the channel, where I do the Grand Prix, all of them so far. The walkthroughs are without my commentary, so you don't have to hear my annoying voice, and the playthroughs are me actually having commentary through each stage, giving my initial reactions, and trying to be entertaining. Emphasis on trying. So you can check those out if you haven't seen them already, but I also have other Sonic content here on the channel. My least favorite course / track, I've used that interchangeably in this video, for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is Rainbow Garden. So just like Water Palace, I've played this course so many times that I've become bored of it. And it does look beautiful. I love the colorful flower hillsides that resemble a rainbow, hence the name, the glistening water that you fly over, and the cool cave section that you drive through and then open up to this bright hillside that you do tricks off of. But from a track perspective, from a format layout, it's very simple, it's very novice, and it just doesn't do it for me. And the soundtrack is kind of soothing at first, but then once you've played this course a bunch of times, it gets kind of draining and exhausting to even listen to. So that is why Rainbow Garden is my least favorite course in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Once again, this does not mean that it's bad, it just means I like all of the other courses and tracks more than this one. What did you guys think of my top 5 worst or least liked Sonic Racing CrossWorld tracks? Let me know down in the comments if you agree, disagree, what your list is. And now, let's move on to the next list, which is actually a surprise. What? I'm not doing my top 5 tracks yet? Nope, we're actually going to hop through a travel ring, and I'm going to give you guys a bonus. Here are my bottom 3 travel ring courses and my top 3 travel ring courses. Starting off with the number 3 least liked travel ring course, we have Kraken Bay. I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for this one. If I were to go back in time and tell a younger version of myself that there would be a peak Sonic racing game in which you could go to a course where you do tricks off of waves, there's a sunken ghost pirate ship in which the ghosts are attacking you, then you get shot out of a cannon to a giant kraken and fly through its mouth, I would have been like, that's hype as all heck. And in fact, I was hyped for this when I saw the trailers and the gameplay footage for this game. However, upon playing it, I do think there's a little bit too much going on here. This is a very busy and noisy travel ring to go to. Because, yes, you have the waves that you're doing tricks off of in the water, but you also have people attacking you with the power-ups, which is fine, but then once you get to the pirate ship, you have these ghosts rolling barrels down to hit you, which is another obstacle you have to dodge while people are trying to attack you. On top of that, you also have a kraken using its tentacles to hit you, so now you have 3 different obstacles at the same time. It's very cool in the sense that you have different paths to go off of, one where you go up through the ship and out the cannon, and another where you go through the water and then back up to the cannon to shoot out to a flying section to go through the kraken's mouth. All of this is great, the theming is on point, I'm very, very happy how it all looks, but it's just too much going on while you're racing other people. If they would have lowered the hazards, I think this would have been one of my favorite travel ring courses. Does that make sense? Am I just really bad at this game? Yeah, I am, but this is my opinion, and that's what it is. Number 2, my second least likely travel ring course would be the Magma Planet. There's just not a lot going on here besides the lava dragons that come up. I like that you can choose to fly underneath part of the driving course, and it's just, it's there. It's a nice little lava course, but it doesn't do anything to tickle my fancy or anything like that. And lastly, my least favorite travel ring course is actually Alaska, because it's just an ice track, really. You have this beautiful, like, backdrop of the Northern Lights, and you have these ice creatures, these ice wells jumping back and forth, and a very interesting segment where you could either be racing on a boat or flying above. That's a cool part of the track, but it's just kind of straightforward and not very inventive. So that's why I have it as my least favorite travel course. Now let's quickly go over my top 3 favorite travel ring courses so we can get back to the main race and I can give you my top 5 tracks of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. In number 3, so my third liked track would have to be Golden Temple. Golden Temple has this Babylon Rogue, Eclipse, Sonic Riders feel to it, and it's just great. I remember showing this game to my brother, and we got that as a travel ring, and when we went through, my brother just went, whoa! And that's the reaction you want to get when you go through these travel rings, right? Golden Temple has great music, it looks beautiful, and it beats out any other type of temple course in this game. Sorry, Water Palace. Not really the same palace temple, but yeah, it's awesome. My second most liked travel ring course would have to be Dragon Road, as we race on top of the back of dragons, go through a dragon's mouth. There's fireworks, there's fire. It's a short but very sweet, cool track to go on, and Dragon Road is just so cool. How can you not like this travel ring course? It's fire, all pun intended. And finally, my number 1 most favorite travel ring course is Sweet Mountain. Look, we have tons of dessert or food themed courses in Mascot Racers. Mario Kart has a handful, and I like all of them. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds has my most favorite out of any racing game food themed track, and that is impressive to do for me. I adore this travel ring course. It's so delicious. The details are so vivid. They were not lazy with it. I like that you can pretty much ride in the water that's like making you think that you're in like a river of chocolate. You're doing tricks through donuts. It's amazing. It is my favorite travel ring course. So I want to know what your guys' list is for the travel rings. Let me know down in the comments, and let's shift gears back to my top 5 favorite main tracks in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. My 5th favorite Sonic Racing CrossWorlds track is North Star Islands. Listen, I am not the biggest Sonic Superstars fan. I played the game, I thought it was okay. It kind of made me regret pre-ordering all that. There wasn't a lot of content there. However, I cannot deny the art style is chef's kiss. They really played it up a notch, and it reminds me of Sonic Mania meets like Mario Wonder put together. They really tried for a more cartoony, vibrant, high saturated color art style. They knocked it out of the park when it comes to looks, and they replicated that in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. It is phenomenal with the enemies going around. You have a stomping like press machine. You really go through some of these stages that you do in the Sonic Superstars level, and having this as a hidden track on the Hidden Grand Prix it's great. It's so good that it actually makes me kind of want to go back and play a little bit of Sonic Superstars. I'm not going to, but that's how you know how good this track really is. Number 4, my 4th most favorite track in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is Aqua Forest. They did something very interesting with this course. They not only gave us a tree-like course, which we've seen in many other games, but they added a water element to it, in which you have these wooden ships and ports and this little town up in the treetops while water falls down, and it just looks great. It's very unique. It's very inventive. I remember actually my mouth was agape when I first saw this track, and they were like showing you through it. I believe there is a shortcut in this one that's pretty crazy, and if you don't go for it, you're pretty much eating away at first place. But yeah, I really like the look and feel of Aqua Forest. It's not too long of a track, it's not too short, it's not for beginners, but it's also not too difficult to navigate through. It is great. Moving on to my third favorite track in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and that is the Eggman Expo. Guys, they absolutely cooked for this one. If you are a huge Sonic fan like me, and if you're not, welcome to the channel, but why are you here? This is a Sonic exclusive channel. All we do here is Sonic content. If you don't like Sonic, what made you want to watch this? I would actually really like to know. We are not going to bully you. Please let me know down in the comments. All jokes aside, Eggman Expo is so good. There's so much detail. Every pixel, every inch of this course, you will find something from a previous Sonic game, a Sonic franchise, of Eggman's best and worst mecha maniacs. From his underlings to his bosses, they're all here in their glory in this theme of Eggman just showing off his inventive genius, his 300 IQ. This is such a great track. There's only one thing I don't particularly like about it, and it's what the heck is that tunnel water portion with the bubble around it. It gives me a headache every time. The controls seem really clustered and weird there, and it's basically just a giant tube where everyone just attacks each other relentlessly. But besides that, I really enjoy this course. And that third lap, when all the hazards turn on and you even have the Egg Dragoon stabbing you for going for a dash panel. Guys, it's so good. I really, really enjoy the Eggman Expo. But there's two more tracks that I like more. What could they be? Let's see. Number 2, we have Pumpkin Mansion. Guys, you knew this. You knew this was coming. If you've seen any of my previous videos where I'm gushing about Hang Mansion or the Mystic Manor in Sonic Heroes, you know Pumpkin Mansion was going to make it up here. This thing is so great. Yes, every kart racer has a Halloween style course, but they do such a good job pulling in a bunch of different Halloween themes and spooky themes from the Sonic franchise and IP. You have multiple paths you can go on. You have these pumpkins that will appear and disappear depending on which course they want you to take. At the very end, you can be on an invisible course and do a trick up into a giant pumpkin's mouth. It's phenomenal. It would be slightly, just a tad bit better if you could drive through the mansion a little bit more and see maybe the portrait of that giant robot with a hammer from Sonic Heroes, but they did a phenomenal job with this one. It's not my favorite Halloween-themed kart racer out of all of the kart racers, but it is my second favorite track in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Moving on to my number 1 favorite track in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Before we get into that, I want to thank you guys so much again for watching my videos. If you made it to the end, I definitely appreciate it. Be sure to like if you've been enjoying yourself and subscribe if you want to stay tuned to more Sonic content. I'm going to be doing more stuff away from CrossWorlds once the game dies down a bit, but we still have a lot to go, so just bear with me on that. Alright, my first and favorite track in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds to this date. There will be updates, there will be DLC tracks coming out that could beat out this course, but for now, before any of those drop, this is my favorite course, and it is Kronos Island. Guys, they just locked the absolute crap in for this course. The Hidden Grand Prix, if you haven't noticed, it has almost all of my favorite courses in it. And that tells you they knew what they were doing, locking these behind playing all the other pre's. Kronos Island is so good. Listen, Sonic Frontiers is not one of my favorite Sonic games. After Shattered Generations came out, it actually kind of made Sonic Frontiers worse for me to replay due to how, stiff the controls are, how it kind of feels more empty than anything. It's not a bad game by any shape or form, don't get me wrong. It kind of revitalized the Sonic franchise, being a better of the Sonic games, but I'm just saying, it's not one of my favorite, but this track, it just oozes with personality and Frontiers energy as you're racing through and you see all the different types of enemies that you can encounter on Kronos Island. You have the towers, you have that wasp looking thing where if you're in first place it'll look at you and then fly away and create the rest of the course that doesn't have guardrails, so if you fall off, you die. It's very tricky. It's so good. The final lap, the giant Ashura wakes up and starts stomping the ground, creating boost rings for you to go through. It's so inventive. It's so creative. It pays the perfect homage to Sonic Frontiers. This is my favorite track in Sonic Racing. And guess what, guys? These top 5, they're great, but there's so many other tracks that could honestly, depending on my mood that day, be up in this list. There's so many honorable mentions, and I'll just go through a few real quick. Mystic Jungle, Chow Park, Metal Harbor, Radical Highway, White Space, Coral Town. Guys, Coral Town, aside from its theming, the theming's the only thing that's keeping it back. The track layout is insane. The amount of paths you can go on, there's an endless amount. It is so replayable that, like, it's really pushing towards that top of the list. It's just because it's Coral. Like, if it was any other theme, I think it would have gone higher. Dampa Factory. So many of these courses are absolutely great, and it's so tough to rank them all. And I did, but once again, it was just a very painstaking task to put into a video. We're already towards the 25-minute mark with me just talking about these tracks, so I'm going to end it here. Once we have all the DLC tracks and everything like that, I might do a mega video if you guys want to see it. But until then, please go ahead and check out some other Sonic videos I have here on the channel. I would really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below your list for your favorite, least favorite tracks in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. I'd love to see where we are similar or are different. Let me know what I missed, or if you have any arguments on why you think I am objectively wrong about some of these courses. I would love to hear it all. Let's get the conversation going. I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya.